Ivy Valentine subscribes to Mark Yoon, so should you. Enjoy your treat!
Hey, what's up? Mark Yoon here, and today I want to talk about Resident Evil 4, specifically the Mercenaries and the stuff that it unlocks in the game. Now, there is one thing that I do want to point out. It is that this is very mixed. There's a lot of people who are mixed on this, and I'm going to have my opinion in there as well, but I just want you to know that that's like pretty much just my opinion, so it doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. I would love to hear discussions about it in the comment section, but the first thing I want to talk about is Mercenaries reception. So, a lot of people were anticipating Mercenaries to breathe some new life into this game, because as anybody who's played Resident Evil in the past knows, as soon as a Resident Evil game is out for a week or so, like, people are already speedrunning the game. There's already playthroughs where people have completely platinumed the game and there's pretty much like nothing left for them to do at this point. So offering something like Mercenaries is a quick way to reinvigorate the community and get people excited about the game. Now, there was a couple controversial things in this. As we all know, something that I covered was the data leaks talking about Ada Wong and Wesker being in the data, specifically two different versions of Ada, her Kipao Chinese dress and her new outfit. So we don't know what their loadouts would have been. Albert Wesker was obviously being looked forward to a lot as well, but it seems that they were not included in this first wave of DLC. And I say first wave because in the data files, leakers have found the Separate Ways DLC and the models for Ada and Wesker. So it's sufficient to say that I think that Ada and Wesker are actually still coming to Mercenaries sooner rather than later, but they're most likely going to be coming bundled in with the Separate Ways DLC. Now, whether Separate Ways is actually going to be a free DLC or whether it's going to be paid, I have no idea. I would have told you before we got those microtransactions that it would have been free, but Capcom has taught me to know better than that at this point. So, I was also before I get off topic, wanted to talk about the fact that a lot of people were not expecting but wanting or wishing for co-op to be in this game. I did say that it's a highly desired feature for me to have co-op in just the Mercenaries mode itself, not the main game, but I was understanding of, like, since it wasn't in the original Mercenaries for Resident Evil 4, I wasn't holding my breath for it to actually come about, and it seems that I was right. It is single player. The problem being is that a lot of people are comparing this new one to the old one and saying that it is extremely easy. I can attest to that. Just when I was recording this gameplay footage for YouTube for the background, I literally S-ranked every stage as soon as I unlocked Krauser. I didn't think I was going to be able to do so because I was doing pretty bad with Luis until I found a golden egg, got 50k, and you know, getting an S rank, you only need 200,000 points. So it was pretty easy to put me over the top from just getting that golden egg. But I know a lot of people are using him in like a straightforward way of like just laying dynamite and shooting the dynamite, or the explosives. That's actually a really fun way to do that, and I did try it out, and it does work pretty efficiently. I still do like the transformation of Krauser a little bit better, but that's also another issue that I heard people were saying. People were saying that the Mayhem mode makes this a lot more easier than it was in the past, and no longer just like trying to have like a challenge mode, because once you use a Mayhem mode, a lot of characters get like these really OP bonuses. Like Leon apparently has like an increase to his speed, which is exponentially insane when it comes to just running through enemies and getting around enemies to like herd them. And he also gets like other bonuses as well. We know that Hunk gets unlimited ammo with his machine gun. That's already pretty powerful. Unlimited ammo in this mode is insane, because the only thing you're really stopping for is to pick up ammo. So the fact that you can just wait till you get his Mayhem mode and then like blast away is ingenious. Also, the fact that you can actually use the story mode variations of the stages in this is kind of like crazy to me too. Like, you can actually use the cannon and the machine guns and stuff just to like mow enemies down. There are limitations. I think it's like 3 shots with the cannon and I think 3 clips or 3 mags with like the big machine gun, the mountain machine gun. So it's not like too OP. It's really just for getting out of dangerous situations when they're coming up the hill and you see them crossing the bridge, because they are shooting fire arrows at you. But I don't really think it's my opinion that it's too easy. It is easy. Like, I mean, like, but the thing is, like, once you unlock that hand cannon, which is the next controversial part, a lot of people were really upset that the only reward that we get for doing this, for S-ranking every stage, was literally just getting the hand cannon, which we automatically need to beat professional mode with no bonus weapons in order to achieve in the previous game, because it's a pretty powerful Magnum. Now, it has been nerfed from the last game. It's definitely not as good as it was before, just because of the recoil, but it does have the second highest damage output for a Magnum in the game. I think it's only next to the Broken Butterfly when it's fully maxed out. But the fact that the microtransactions exist actually makes that even less of a thing. So instead of, you know, grinding away 30 spinels doing mini missions to try and unlock its special weapon feature after spending about 500,000 pitas in actually unlocking the hand cannon, what happens is you could just buy a ticket now for $2.99, and the upgrade ticket automatically maxes out the reload speed of the hand cannon, and it also maxes out the recoil, because it basically fires automatically and doesn't need reload at that point. So the only amount of money that you need to spend in it is the power and the capacity. Not capacity, that's already maxed too. I think it's just the power and I don't remember what the other one is. I'm sorry, forgive me. But that's like, for me, for someone who like doesn't have a lot of time to play games because there's like, you know, work and stuff like that and family, that was cool for me to get, but also I felt kind of cheap. Like, I felt like buying that ticket to use the hand cannon when I'm still in my first playthrough, by the way. Like, I'm on chapter 11. I still haven't got past the tunnel mission where you're with Luis, like going through the what do you call it, the box crate or whatever. I'm like dreading doing it, but I'm sure now it's not gonna be a problem if I use that Magnum, because chainsaw guys be damned, like they get headshotted like twice and they're done. So it does melt bosses, which is why you didn't get it before until professional completion with no bonus weapons. So I can understand people's opinions there, especially when it comes to the microtransactions, though I don't think it's super egregious, because they are completely ignorable and the game is not impossible to complete without those tickets. It certainly circumvents a lot of like the extra work that you have to put into it via doing a bunch of the extra missions for spinels to trade for, I think, the 2 upgrade tickets that you're allowed to have with the merchant. So there's, I mean, like, it gets crazy on in later playthroughs anyway, where you're running around with like infinite rockets and stuff. So I'm not saying that that takes away from any of the gameplay, because for me, the first one, your first playthrough should be the fun one. That's with like no Leon costumes and like just playing the game like originally as it's intended. That's enjoyable. But anything after that, I think the gloves are off. You can just do whatever you want. I think like the cat ears are fun for getting unlimited ammo. I'd rather unlock unlimited ammo like you did in Resident Evil 5 by completely maxing them out and then having the ability to pay for that in the bonuses to unlock unlimited ammo. But this is still a little bit better here. Certain weapons do have that as a feature, so that's good. I used it on my hand cannon, but I don't know. I haven't really used it yet, so I guess like we'll see if that affects my playthrough at all. It probably will, I'm assuming. But anyway, so controversy aside, like, I know that a lot of people are split on the co-op thing. It's like they wanted co-op, but then a lot of people were like, it definitely wasn't going to be here. In fact, I did a poll, which I'm going to get to at the end of the video, that asked that exact question, which you guys responded with. And the thing about waiting for Separate Ways DLC for Ada and Wesker is a little funny, because I also ran another poll about which characters you're most excited to play as in Mercenaries, and the number 1 and the number 2 spots were Ada and Wesker. And a lot of the complaints that I've seen in my comment section has been that Ada's not in Mercenaries. So I guess we have to look forward to Separate Ways, because apparently she's the one that fights like U13 or whatever, because the boss wasn't in the original story, so I think that's being saved for her. Wesker is a part of that as well, so it only makes sense to actually, for them from a business standpoint, to package more into that DLC if they're going to charge for it, especially. Hopefully it's not a lot. I hope it's free, but like that's just wishful thinking on my end. I mean, they are charging us $3 per unlock ticket, so it's anybody's guess at that point. I'm still enjoying the game. I'm still having fun. The problem with me is the longevity of the game. If you look at some of these, I'm going to show up on here the consecutive active players for the Resident Evil games, and even some of the older games you'll see have like a 40 to 60% uprise since this game came out in player base, whereas you'd see something normally where like something's like in the thousands or something on Steam, but now like all those older games have equal amounts of player bases, and it's because those are the ones that have co-op. Even Resident Evil 6 has like over 1,000 active players. Even compared to Resident Evil 5. Now this is just Steam. This doesn't even count like Switch and PS4 and well, I guess PS5 would still be the PS4. PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, whatever. It doesn't count any of that. It literally only counts Steam. So I'm sure that that's just like a small basis comparatively of what the numbers are. But what it does show is the increase in people playing those older games at the time of Mercenaries launch is that people wanted co-op, didn't get co-op, so they're just playing another version of Resident Evil that has co-op. And some of those Mercenaries modes in 5 and 6 I think are more fun than this one. It's not like that it's like not fun or not challenging too much for me. It's just that like it feels kind of bare with 3 stages and 4 characters when it's already like less than the original Mercenaries had in the original game, and the whole reason for a remake in the first place is to enhance the game and do it better, not do it worse. So I don't understand why that's a thing. I know a lot of people are upset with like the Mayhem mode. A lot of people are upset with certain functions around it in general, but I don't know. I'm still having fun with it, but the thing is like, what do you do in Mayhem? In Mayhem mode, and what do you do in Mercenaries after you S++ everything? Like, because it's fairly easy to do with Krauser or even Luis. Like, what do you do? The answer is you just have fun, I guess. There's, like, nothing to do. Like, you try to beat your own top scores or beat the leaderboards, but there's no reason to go back and replay it. I was saying originally that it would be good if we had another kind of incentive, like maybe if you S++, you got an upgrade ticket instead of having to buy one. I think that would give people a lot of incentive to actually S+ and then S++ one of those to get, like, either a ticket pack for unlocking weapons or just a single ticket for getting S++ on all of them. I think that would even be fine. Just something else that would incentivize players. Maybe some more cosmetics would have been awesome for the main story mode, but just the fact that it's just the hand cannon that's already unlockable in the game, taking away from players' experience of actually going through that professional mode with no bonus weapons in order to get that, is a little bit disheartening for some players of the community. Like I said, like, I'm neither here nor there on it. I'm just having fun with the game at this point. I haven't really delved too much into what my idea about it is. I'm switching between this and a couple other games at a time, so I'm still just having fun casually at this point. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about the changes that they made to Mercenaries, and do you feel like it's actually good or not? I will have a poll on the community tab about that, but now it's time to talk about last week's poll before we end the video. So last week's poll, I asked, last video's poll, I'm sorry, this went up on Friday. It said, are you upset that there's no co-op in Resident Evil 4 The Mercenaries? 37% of people said I knew that there wasn't going to be any, 31% said yes, I'm upset, 18% no, and 14% said wait for Resident Evil 5 Remake, which Resident Evil 5 is my favorite Resident Evil of all time, so like I'm obviously looking forward to that anyway, but I would have liked to be able to play around with my friends in Mercenaries mode on this, so I'm probably in the category that I'm a little upset, but I also kind of knew it. So I only have 4 options to give people, so there's not much that I can actually do on the pictures, images part of the polls and community tab, but that's what we came to. And then I just wanted to highlight some of these comments that you're actually going to see on screen. A lot of the stuff was pretty much talking about how like let's look at VMAC89's quote right here with Hunk as his profile picture, so awesome. He says, I figure in this day and age, co-op would be implemented to even RE4R Mercenaries. It'll show up on 5, but I figured if they were going to add anything, it would have been co-op. And that's what I was just getting at before. It's like with a remake, you want to improve on things, not take away things, so I don't understand where the mindset was there. Not even from a monetization standpoint, because some people only play these games for the multiplayer, so the fact that, like, there is none is kind of here nor there, whatever. I know it's a single player's experience, and I'm there with you, but that's how some people feel, and we can't, like, discount that. And then we have one from CNLLS 2012 says, yes, I'm upset that they haven't added this expected mode. I hope that Capcom adds the cooperative mercenaries in a merciless mode in Resident Evil 4 Remake. At this point, I don't think they're going to add it. Like, it is what it is. Like, the groundwork now is already set from a gameplay standpoint to not have co-op, right? And so it's not something like in the Village adding third-person mode is easy to implement like that. Like, we're talking about now we're going to have to do what? Like, online split screen. We're going to have to, like, do a bunch more call-outs and features and functions about, like, working together. There's, like, a ton of stuff involved, and, like, the point system and all that. Like how many zombies are on screen. It's literally a lot of programming, and I don't think they're willing to do that for a mode that's free and just an add-on, like an extension of Resident Evil 4, if you will. So, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen, even though I wish that that was my desire that it happened. Let's read a few more comments, and then we'll bounce out of the video. Major X93 says, not upset, but was hoping for co-op, though upset that Wesker is not in the Mercenaries yet. And like I said, he's probably coming with separate ways, so that's nothing we can do about that. Kawaki, who's been commenting a lot on the channel, thank you, said that I should have added, I segmented the questions too much. I should have added more options. And like I said, like I can only do 4 options when it comes to the picture ones. If I did like a regular poll, I think I could do 5, but there's not much I can really do except for what I've said anyway. I'd be open to suggestions though. Hollow666 says, I'll be honest, I thought there'd be more. Kind of disappointed after you've S-ranked all the maps and no real reason outside of the fun to play it. I know a lot of people are saying like fun, and like some people are saying, was there supposed to be co-op? It's not that it was expected. Like a lot of people wanted co-op, and because of the way Mercenaries is set up and that we've had multiple versions of the game before that had co-op, like 4 and 5, I mean 5 and 6 for example, and even Revelations 2 and Revelations 1, they had co-op forms with their raid mode, which was basically like a Mercenaries. I think that it should have been implemented, but I'm not Capcom, I'm not the developers. I'm still going to enjoy the game. I don't know if it hurts the score too much for me because it's my expectations that did damage to the game, not the game itself, so it's kind of a me thing, not a them thing. But I don't know, guys, what do you think now that everything's done in the video? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please go over and vote on today's poll because I will be showing that and reading that in the next video on Friday. Subscribe if you like this content. Any and all thoughts are always welcome in the comment section down below. You can also come over to my free Discord and join there and talk to a bunch of people about a bunch of different stuff. So, as I always say, guys, I love it. Thank you.
And thank you.